Good afternoon or good evening. It's 4:57 p.m. Today is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. So let's go with the pre-market notes. Today was a very good day, So we were able to capture, to get the trend day up idea right after a few minutes of the open, or I would say about in 20, not even 20, I was 15 minutes of the open, I knew there would be a trend day up. So we decided, so I said, you know what, you can buy any pullback you want today, no shorts, just longs, and the target was 39.50 or 39.20 in ES, and then 300 area to 211 in NQ. So that was a target in mind, and you can buy any pullback you want. That was the idea. Today could be a trend day up. So with that in mind, right, that was like after 10 minutes, okay, of the open. But before that, how I arrived to that conclusion, right? So I will give you some information, because I already give you information in Discord. But this was this week's story, So as you know, price was holding above this, right? See, this area from yesterday's pre-market note, it was important, and that area became Globex low today. That was the very first clue I got, going into the day, even before open, okay? Then this was the story. Then I said, you know what, let me define preferred sellers, preferred buyers area, and backup buyers, backup sellers area. And if price is trading above both, more buyers will come. If it's trading above one, then at least some buyers are there, and vice versa for sellers. That is what the note is about here, pretty much. And then you can read through all these things, right? Because I have to cover a lot today in Mboxwave and in regular video, So these were the dream numbers, right? Usually, above dream numbers buyers, below dream numbers sellers. That is the concept, right? So NQ was already trading above both dream number, right? Even before open. So at least we know buyers are there, right? In NQ, because dream numbers were here and below. But that was a preferred buyers area. So at least we know above preferred buyers area, buyers are there, correct? So now this was a preferred sellers area. This entire area, 46 to this 995, right? And you can see NQ actually broke above, right at the open above preferred, entire preferred area. So at least we know buyers are there. That's it, And now in order for sellers to be active, they have to take price at least below preferred buyers area, right? Or entire this preferred sellers area, from this to this, in order to become consider that they are active. But they look at this, price came down to let this bottom of this preferred area, preferred sellers area, and then buyers even held it here, and then it was holding it, right? So at least NQ we know some sellers are there, but more buyers are there, right? Yes, at the same time, this is a backup buyers area, right? So it was holding above it. This was a preferred buyers area, and in pre-market even held it above it. This was a preferred sellers area, right? Which in pre-market even it went through it, right? So ES even went above preferred sellers area, NQ went above preferred sellers area, right? So both were favoring buyers in a way, right? So now here also look at this, right of the open, and ES turned this, flipped this sellers area into buyers area and held it. Similar thing, NQ also did the same thing. It flipped the sellers area bottom to the buyers area and it held it. See, NQ went down this much because the range of the preferred sellers area was high, right? Look at this much range, but ES was only this much range and it held it. So both held their ranges, and they turned into buyers area. So that was your first long here, relying on this preferred sellers area turning into buyers area. Why? Because price was trending higher. See, it built a balance entire half of the overnight. Then there was a breakout. Then there was a pullback. And then 39.50, 38.50 was the area that it should hold above based on the pre-market notes from yesterday's closing remark and all these things. And it was preferred buyers area. It held it. Then it got a breakout above this area. See, if sellers were active, they should have defended it here and again here. But here they failed. They took their chance here and they failed to hold it. So now buyers are there. It's a stair-stepping up price action. At this point, this was a buy right here, and it was a wide gap open with, after having a trend down day yesterday, it was a wide gap up with strong internals, momentum was skyrocketed high, right? So they were all characteristics for a trend A. You know, all we have to see is price moving forward, and this break right at 958 sealed the deal. So this thing basically sealed the deal right here. You know, right before even this bar, right here I said 945. I said trend A up scenario possibility. If that is the case, you can buy every pullback. Whatever pullback you can get, you just buy. You know. So then this was the final confirmation, right? NQ, while ES was chopping around, NQ was chopping in a big range, right? But it was holding here. See that? So NQ, you can try here or even here. So this was the long I took it. So I took this long here first time. But NQ I bailed out because NQ was chopping around, right? So NQ was not trustworthy price action, even though buyers were active, but the sellers were keep pushing it down, right? So NQ I even first trade I took it somewhere here and I bailed out, right? In ES I was holding it. Because of NQ I bailed out here, you know, right here. You know? But I was long from here, so I bailed out here. You know? Then again, you know, when NQ went down and tried to go higher, I bought it ES again here, right? At this time I held it, you know, and then I bought it here NQ, which this hunting levels, and you guys already know the power of hunting levels, right? The idea is if price is above hunting levels, buyers, right? And most likely based on yesterday's closing remark, if buyers are there in the overnight, they will try to do their best to go above hunting levels or retest the hunting levels. Here they were not retesting, here they were trying to break out, you know. That's why most likely it will go to this area, and if it breaks above, man, it's gonna go to moon. You know, that was the idea. Moon means 300 area, this area. So we already know all this thing based on the pre-market, yesterday's closing remark, combine everything, right? So this was the long right here, I captured it, right? And this damn thing I just held it, right? So and then ES, you know, I took the long right here, right? And this breakout sealed the deal. So I took some off here because actually here, you know, so I took some off here, and then rest 10% I held it till the end, till the closing basically, you know, because that was the whole idea. So even though I know there is a trend up, but I didn't trust this morning price action of NQ, even though it went higher later on, right? It's supposed to go to 300 then at that point. The moment it broke out about this area, 300 was almost 80% likelihood scenarios, you know. So all these longs were all pullbacks long, and we discuss in Discord that any level after it breaks, it has to hold it, you know. So that's a pullback area. So if you look at it, all our lines here and all over these levels, they are all acted as a pullback levels, you know, all these links, because momentum entire morning, you know, till 11:30, 12, you know, it basically held it, you know, pretty much above zero line, I can say. And there are continuous plus 600. AD was totally full-blown bullish, you know, super strong bullish, right? So there is no reason to think about short, but only because of the trendy idea, you can only take longs at every damn pullback you can find, and you can see it pretty much every level. Even 80 also we discuss here, you can go long 80 and stop at 70 area. Now I told you also how to manage this trade, right? So this trade worked out. Then I said, you know, even you can use 100. See this 100 pullback after broke out. You can see this also we discuss, this pullback after breakout, this pullback, and then this things also it even held it, right? But then you can't expect much every time, right? Because you have to wait for this area. So here you may be stopping out, but fine, you can go long again, you know. And then there was a chop here, right? But it was holding this area, right? And there was a breakout, and again you start pullback. See, all these lines acted as a pullback. Finally, this was the line that is broken out, right? Now you can know it's gonna go to 300. So you are waiting for a pullback into this area somewhere, you know, like 218 to this area, right? But price never came back there. See, but it came all the way up here and then it went down. So there was a long here too. So when it came down here, right, it's supposed to go here, but then it started chopping around. Then there was a breakdown effort here. See that? Immediately people bought it. See, this was the sign that this is the area temporarily it's gonna hold. The moment you see this, next down you buy, you know, and then you hold it. Simple. 300 here, you are out, or you can call it a day off right here at this red line. That's it. So that was your trades in NQ, right? Yes, same thing. You know, each area when it broken out, you buy it. Same thing here, like NQ, you can buy it here also at the same time. When you bought NQ here, you can buy ES here. You know? So every area, it was a buying opportunity. You know, and then when price came to 20 here, you know, I said there was a pullback or shorts coming, you know, right here, which was around 105, which is, what's this, 105, which is right around here, you know, that there was a pullback coming, you know, that is what I typed in Discord, and you can see there was a pullback that came, right? And so I played this and I played this also. I played this short, I played this long also. Here also I played the short and long both, right? And then you can just, you know, every pullback you have to buy it basically. That's it pretty much, you know. That was the theme today, you know? And so you can, and then I said the closing will be at the tail end, you know, and you can see the closing right at the tail end. See that? So you can technically, as I said, right, you can even hold your trade if you want to till the closing, you know, if you don't want to manage it. So that's how it was pretty clear today, you know. Price gave us enough signals, you know. Everything was lined up perfectly. That's why you had a trend day up, you know. Yes, NQ was a bothersome in the morning, but then once it clears this, it was a good to go. So we captured essentially entire trend day today, you know. In a way, I captured it entire for that remaining 10%. You know. So I had a very good day, you know. Pretty much entire 6 months worth of trading is done today. You know. I covered that much today, but anyway. So now let's talk about Mboxwave, right? So I will cover ES today, right? Because, you know, it's easy to, I cannot cover both NQ and ES, right? So the theme is same. Today was a trend day up, right? So how I figured that out, right? So for that you have to just, you know, watch the regular video, right? So whatever the minutes before this topic, right? So before this Mboxwave timestamp, you can go back and see the previous video. That way you will have a clue, you know. So I will just start from there, right? That you watch that video and then you have a clue what's going on, right? So I'm not gonna explain all these things, but I will start, let's say, from here, you know, 8:30. Okay, that's why I started all this thing, right? But why it started all this thing? Because this was a preferred buyers area in my notes, you know. So it came down here, right, and it held this area. That was my first clue, and it was a supply exhaustion right here, you know. So when buyers are strong, you will see this supply exhaustion, you know. It's a reverse way to look at it. It's not something that it is trending down here, you know, because there was no trend. See, look at here. Was it a trend? No, right? So you can argue maybe it's a beginning of the trend, could be trend down, right? It's breaking out of this balance, right? But this is how it, do you want to see the breakdown, or you want to see the breakdown like this, candle like this? So here you want to see a candle like this length roughly, you know. That is a proper breakdown, right? So supply was there, but there was no breakdown, was missing. Yes, little bit poke below, but that was not a poke below. That was to trap poor sellers right here. So because this was a good preferred buyers area, okay, so that's how it is, you know. And then they got trapped here. Look at here, double algo signal, triple algo signal, right? So people must have sold based on Mboxwave right here. After looking at this breakdown and this algo and this algo, right, this one, they have sold more here, and then they got happy when price went down, not knowing that it can reverse on them, right? So their stop would be right here, or some of their stops would be right here, right? And then so I was watching from that angle, right? I was watching the stop here, right? So here, you know that stops are here. First one, they stopped out, this sellers, then this sellers, See here, they defended it again here, correct? Whoever missed out this move, they shorted it here, okay? And then pullback happened. Then what? Price should have gone down, right? But instead triple algo to the upside. Now think, this valid or this area valid, this algo valid or this algo valid? See, given a choice, this is what I was looking for. That was your long right here, not short here. See, because it was in the preferred buyers area. Exhaustion after this, let's say this was a valid supply, right? Do you want to see this, or you want to see price going down, right, straight down here, another supply, renewed supply, right? That was, we call it, correct? There was no renewed supply here. Instead there was a buying. Look at this buying, and then huge spike compared to this, right? So little effort, more result, more effort, no result. So this was the long in the pre-market, okay? Then you know this balance that it tried to break down, right? At least, so it went to the top of this balance. See here, you can take profit if you want to in pre-market and then wait for the open, right? So now let's say you took the profit here, right, for whatever reason, and then you're waiting for the open. So open, before open, let's say what happened, right? So now before open, so okay, so this is the box I drew it anyway. So before open, you see that this went higher. Look at the delta first of all, right? It's higher than this, so buyers are strong. And here there was a failed breakdown effort also. So now you know at least buyers are above this area. You should not be considering shorting at this point in time, okay? You should only look for long at pullback, right? So pullback could be this high, which is right here, right? But price couldn't even get to that point, even it bounced ahead of it, right? So either you missed it or you jump started, you know, you jump ahead of it and you bought it. Let's say we're looking at this signal, right? So fine, let's say you bought it here, right? And then of the open, you know, before open it even went higher, right? Make a new high, new Globex high, right? Then there was a pullback here again somebody bought it, correct? But now you're buying at the tail end, you know, of this overnight move. Opening is right nearby, right? So you have to hold off, and then you have to see whether price comes down to either this area, since it broke out about this, I would say this area, right? So this is my buying area now. And if buyers are really strong, you know, they took an effort, right? They gave a fail breakdown, they bought it here, and they good delta, they held this pullback, you know, then again there are buyers, right? So they better hold it above this area. If they want to take it higher today, they better hold it above this area, you know. Breaking below, something is off, you know. You don't want to ideally price to go back down here, then they screwed up, right? So that is the idea, you know. So now you know already my previous videos, comments, right? If you watch the regular video. So now at this point, you know, this was also my preferred sellers area, right? So now price is trading above it. That means this preferred sellers area, ideally I want to turn this area into buying area. You know, this was my preferred buyers area. I want this sellers area to turn into buy area. That's the only way buyers can prove their point. And if that is the case, then you have a trend up, right? So let's see. See that? It came down here, first time 70, it bought it, correct? Then because of NQ, ES came down again here, just because of NQ. Again somebody bought it, right? And then again, and then there was somebody sold it even here, right? Based on, because of NQ, somebody even tried to short here because NQ was ping-ponging. And remember, this is the area where we were actually supposed to go long at this 67, 68 area, right? But then price couldn't even get there first time, correct? Now let's see if it's second time it gets there. See here, it didn't even get there, correct? So buyers were so strong, they even held it at this line, right? This line, the previous line, right? So here, look at the supply. He was minus 98 or so here. Here's minus 135, minus 115. Is it an enough supply? to justify, to push away this buyer. See, this 356 couldn't even get down, and then you had a minus 42, and then in algo, right? And this much supply compared to this, it couldn't move the needle. Do you think after having this much balance into this balance, top of this balance, bottom of this balance, right? So technically both are buyers area here. This much, only this algo and this 135 can move the needle, especially if NQ is holding above, also above good area. Don't think so, right? But let's say this breakdown happens, but it didn't even go below this, right? And immediately next bar up, price just slices through these sellers. At this point, right, you know these sellers are trapped. There is another reason. You can look at it here. See that? It was an imbalance. Don't you think so? If after this balance price wants to break down, and if somebody sold it here, it should at least show you some selling here. It was an imbalance, you know. Imbalance where? Right into this area. So go long. Simple, you know. And look at this. More supply, right? On the way down, another time, no supply. Divergence, right? And on the way, and here also, look at this. There was imbalance too, right? Now there is another way you can siphon this. Count all these things. 348, 123, 29, 26, 146, right? And then 98, 115, 135. Total it up. More buyers in total delta, then more sellers. That's the first clue, right? Even though if you are confused here, count this and you will know. You can even count this also. See, I will show you how to count it. Look at this. 3300, which is this. 1700. And then this also you can count as a buy, right? So you have to plus it. But anyway, if you don't even count it, you can count this. But this one you can count as a buyers, you know, because it's above, right? So plus 4000 or 4500, and then this combined 5000, total 10,000 buy. And then you have a 7,000 or 8,000 selling. And then you can add up all these things, you know. Eventually you will come out little bit ahead in the buy. And you can say this is sellers, no effort. Selling, no effort. No effort, no resulting, you know. And then there was a divergence, right? There was an imbalance, less delta, and this guy's fucked up, right? Like they are trapped. So go long right here. Simple. And now you have a confirmed buying came in right here. And then you have this spike up also, right? Look at even here also you can see it. There are more buying than compared to selling. See, height of these things. So everything is pointing to the buy side. And then boom, right? So, and then what happens? Spike up, right? And then 82 and this pullback, right? Pullback is every pullback you can see it. See, there was a selling, correct? But the next time you see it, immediately bought back up, right? Here also 41, right? See, this sell off, I know this was 88. It was my backup seller area. This one, this was my preferred sellers area, turn into buyers. This was my backup sellers area, and you can see it, somebody sold it here, right? Because they were looking at this delta 315, 138, they sold it, right? So but you can look at this buying, you know, consistently rising, right? There is no way you want to short here, you know, regardless of Mboxwave. It's just the story. Price is telling you the story. If you remove entire Mboxwave from here, you can literally follow the price. It was telling you the story since overnight, right? And look at this, you know, straight from here to here. This is clearly a buyer sign. Look at this also, right? So any pullback will be bought. And if there is a proof, you can see it here. Minus 96, immediately up. Minus 41. See, if price wanted to go down from this backup sellers area, this should be high number, right? Little selling, look here, right? So it's all buy. After this, once it takes out this area, sky is open. You know, this is my backup sellers area, and you can go long right here. If you have my levels right here, even you can go long here and here, you know, these were my levels too. So, and you can see it here, see that? Totally look at this, increasing, right? Rising. So, and then every pullback, you can see, you can literally buy it, you know, pretty much. Every high, see, high, pullback, buy. Here, pullback, buy. See, and then you can instantly see followed by algo. You don't have to even wait for the algo. Buy here, algo, follow, buy, 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 buy. See that? And that buying continued, right, all the way up to 39.10, correct? Then what happened? And then you can add up 377, 89. This is greater, buy. 432, 68, buy, right? 343, okay. This is now down, right? 43 to 343, 37, something off, and then boom, 359. Man, something is really off now, right? Because now this delta increased, and then there is a selling came along with it. Like, see, the selling was larger than this. Now you can say, you know what? Now maybe it's a resting period. Not sellers, resting period for buyers, right? And then you can see it, resting period followed. See that? You can see that. That is a resting period. Actually, that was not a selling sign. It was a resting period, you know. But in the resting period, now you look at this. See, even here also you can combine 343, 17, 359, 78, right? You know, sellers are here, combine, correct? But it's a resting period. It's not a selling sign. Otherwise, you would see a follow through here. You won't see this kind of up spike, okay? So, and then this resting period continued, right? So when the resting period was going on, you can combine 1, 2, 3, all this delta. Overall, you will see more buying than selling in the delta, right? All you have to do is what? Wait for a breakout about this area. So, okay, hold on. So breakout about this area, or break down below this area, your day is screwed up. You're not supposed to short below this area. Just let it go. Day is off, you know. Just take a day off. If it breaks out, you can go long, either pullback or breakout. Okay. So let's see. Go long here, breakout, 597, higher than all of this, correct? This buying came in higher now, right? So pullback, as I said, right? Triple algo, go long, correct? And then what happened? Your stop, you can put it below this line, right? Or this low, correct? So these things pulling down, achieve nothing, right? It even break below this. So you are still holding this trade, or maybe you took the profit, whatever, right? Whatever you did, right? But then here you can see that minus 11, 150, 246, even this combined, these things are still less than this delta. But let's say this 246, maybe this selling came in, right? Fine. Remember I said all the pullbacks you can buy. This could be a pullback opportunity, but let's say minus 246, you back aside, you did not do anything. Then what happened? Immediately 112, 44, 112, higher, right? Then it came down, and look at what happened. 10. It's 10, right? Not even greater than this, correct? And then selling gone immediately. So buy at the breakout or pullback, right? But now you are buying at the near the top, right? So 13 and 24 was my resistance anyway. So that's why you see this down move from there. So I know why. I know it's going to come down from 39.20. You know, I even shorted it here, back to this, and I bought it here. You know, and then I held it. You know. So, but anyway, this was your long right here. You know, and then now you look for 39.40 to 50 area, which is this. You achieved it at the end of the day. See, that's how it is. You know, oh, it's all clear and green today. Pretty much entire all the pullbacks you can buy. And that'd be all for today.